into 3 by 4 is equals to 3 by 8. It is also in the fractional form. Then it is called as compound fraction. By mistake you can done a small mistake. What is that? Let's see it. You will take 1 by 2 of 2. It is in fraction, but it is not in fraction. Means it will be wrong. That's why you can observe claritily and observe the thing what is fraction and how can the compound fraction you can identify. Means how you can identify the compound fraction? Means you must see the numerator and denominator both are must be in the fraction, then it is called as compound fraction. Okay, now we discussed about compound fraction. Next further we are discussing about inverse fraction. What is inverse fraction? Inverse fraction. What is inverse fraction? Means we must invert the fraction of the numerator and the denominator of the fraction, so the resultant of the fraction will be must be also in the original fraction. Then it is called as inverse fraction. Means what? If you take an example, numerator as 1 by 2. Inverse means what? You must reverse the fraction. Means 2 by 1. Both are we are getting in a same original fraction. Then it is called as inverse fraction. Inverse means what? This is quite opposite. Means denominator to the numerator, numerator to the denominator. Inversing it. By inverse means inverse the numerator and denominator. So the result must be in original fraction. It is called as inverse fraction. It is called as inverse fraction. Now we may discuss about it is completed about inverse exam. Let's write an example. For an example, inverse. Take a fraction 1 by 2. What is the inverse of this fraction? Inverse of 1 by 2 is what? 2 by 1. It is called as inverse. Means quite opposite to the numerator and denominator. We can identify it very easily. Now we will discuss about mixed fraction. What is mixed fraction? Mixed fraction means combination of the integers. What? Combination of the integers is called as mixed fraction. What is mixed fraction? The fraction in which with the combination of the integer is called a mixed fraction. Integer means you know. What are the integers numbers? You may know in the further classes. What is mixed fraction? Now you may discuss. The fraction in which the combination of integers is called as mixed fraction. Integer is called mixed fraction. Let's take an example. 2 whole 3 by 4 integer. What is integer? Integer start from what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is integers. Means 2 whole 3 by 4, 4 whole 17 by 18. These are mixed fraction. Mixed means what? Now here this is called fractional form. Fractional form. When the fractional form is related between comes between 2 whole 3 by 4, it is called as mixed fraction. This is fraction. You may confuse. This is called fraction. When this fraction is added a small 2 or any number here, it is called as mixed fraction. Now mixed fraction is completed. Now we will discuss about continuous fraction. What? Continuous fraction. Continuous fraction means what? There is no certain definition in this continuous fraction. The fraction that says that a fraction is continuous when a fraction is added with it. When a fraction is added with the denominator. When the fraction is added to the denominator is called as continuous fraction. There is no certain definition to the continuous fraction. In continuous fraction, the number is added to the denominator is called as continuous fraction. What? When a number is added to denominator is called mixed fraction. Let's see an example. Let's take 2 added means plus. Addition means what? Plus by 1 by, once again adding it, 1 plus 1 by 2 whole 1 plus 1 by 2. See, here you are adding and going, first we added here, next we added here, next we added here. Adding an number with the fraction of the denominator is called as compound fraction. Now we will further discuss about the last and the final fraction, what is called decimal fraction. What is called decimal fraction? The fraction in which the denominator in the power of 10, then the fraction is called as decimal fraction. What? The denominator must be in the power of 10, then it is called as decimal fraction. Let's see an example. Power of 10. Keep in your mind, power of 10 means decimal fraction. What? Decimal fraction. Okay, let's take an example. Let's take 10th part of the unit. What? 10th part of the unit. Is equals to what? 10th part of the unit means, you may confuse what 10th part means. 1 by 10. What? From one part of all the total part is 10. Among this, one part is called 10th part of the unit. Means how can we write in the decimal form? In the power of the 10, we told in the definition. How can we write in the decimal form? Means in decimals, point is the very important thing in the decimal. Means you have learned in the further classes. Let's see 10. Here the number is 1. How many zeros are there in the 10? Only 1 0. Means here one number, then it is correct. Then what you will take? Point, 0 point. Before point, 0 must be placed. What? Before the point, 0 must be placed. 0 point. What is the number is given? 1. 0.1. This is the decimal fraction. What? Decimal fraction. We further discussed about the types of fraction and what are the types and what are the definitions. Now we are further discussed. Now there are very important points are to be noted. What? Very important points are to be noted. Placing 0 to the right of a decimal fraction do not make any change in the value of fraction. Means what? When, keep in your mind, when a 0 is placed in right side of decimal, 0 is placed in the right side of decimal, then the value does not change. The value does not change. Means see one take an example, means 0.50. It is also a decimal fraction. It is also a decimal. These are all equal. These are all equal. They do not make any change. If you keep the 0 right side or left side, whenever the value are not at all changed. Next point to be noted that it is very important. Whenever the numerator or a denominator of a fraction have the same number of decimal places, then each of the decimal points are to be removed. What? Each of the decimal places of the points are to be removed. Let's think what are they. When the numerator or denominator have the same value, then the decimal places must be removed. Okay, I completed my class. I think so my class may be understand for you, and the very important points are to be noted in your notes so that it may be further in your classes. Thank you.